Other big story tonight, we're going to have a big reshaping of the Texas political landscape.
State Senator Dan Patrick beating incumbent David Dewhurst in the Republican runoff for lieutenant governor. Let's go to Houston and Kevin Schwaller live at Dan Patrick's watch party tonight. Kevin.
Well, the crowd here cheered and chanted Dan Patrick's name. Patrick finished speaking here just moments ago. He says he talked on the phone with Lieutenant Governor David Dewhurst, who told him he would back him in the general election. Now tonight, Patrick talked about some of the issues we've heard through this campaign, about border security, about policy to lower property taxes. Here's what he had to say tonight about his victory.
When I ran in 2006 and we had our event when we won the primary, I said that my voice was not going to the Texas Senate. The people's voice was going to the Texas Senate. And tonight, my voice is not going to the office of Lieutenant Governor come November when we beat the Democrats. The people's voice is going to the office of Lieutenant Governor.
Patrick says that this week the campaign will start going into Democratic strongholds. The general election is underway. Reporting live in Houston, Kevin Schwaller, KXAN News.
And in response to finally having a Republican opponent tonight, Democratic Lieutenant Governor candidate Leticia Vanderpute sent out a message to her supporters saying in part, "While he spent the last 6 months slinging mud in the Republican primary, I've been listening to voters across this beautiful state. And you know what? I'm ready to take him on." KXAN's Josh Hinkle live in Houston. Josh?
Yeah, that's right. It's the end of a political era here in Texas, but not the end of the night for David Dewhurst. You can still see he's back there talking to supporters an hour and a half after giving that concession speech. It was hard to see them back in that packed crowd back then, but alongside him were his wife and 10-year-old stepdaughter, what he called his greatest accomplishment, a second serving 11 years in this office, something that's not quite over.
You still have 6 months on the job. What do you hope to accomplish in that time?
During the next 6 months, I want to finalize what I have put in place, and that is a border security plan that will shut down the Texas border from illegal immigration, from drug trafficking, from human trafficking, and from the transnational gangs.
Now, despite what he called a tsunami of negative attacks from Dan Patrick's campaign, he says he'll be nothing but supportive of his Senate colleague ahead of the general election in November. We're live in Houston. Josh Hinkle, KXAN News.
A Tea Party-backed candidate took the Republican nomination tonight for Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, defeating Dan Branch with more than 60% of the vote. David Alamil took the top race for the night for the Democrats. He won the U.S. Senate nomination, and he'll take on incumbent Republican John Cornyn this November.
Kinky Friedman lost his bid to get the Democratic nomination for Agriculture Commissioner. Jim Hogan won that race with 54% of the votes. Hogan will face Republican Sid Miller in November. He won tonight over Tommy Merritt. Miller, of course, made headlines when he hired rocker Ted Nugent as his campaign treasurer. For complete election coverage and results, head on over to KXAN.com.